What's up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Practal, Elevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. Today, I'm going to be talking about what to do after you screwed up on your diet or binged on the holidays and all that good stuff that people tend to do during the holidays, during get-togethers where there's a lot of good food, maybe a little bit of booze, maybe a little bit of you know candy. Easter is very candy oriented, and so if you're watching this, make sure to drop some emojis in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching this. If you are watching this later time, hashtag replay. Let me know that you saw it. But yeah, what we're gonna be doing, and also I guess give a like to the video too, helps people see this with the algorithm. But what we're gonna jump into today with the topic of what to do and what not to do when it comes to the day or a couple days after a basically like a feast or a holiday binge or a hey Adrian, I see you, dude. How's it going? You, you you're the beautiful one. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into this topic of what to do, like because a lot of times I see you, Leah. Oh yeah, yeah. That reminds me. If you're a client of mine, don't forget hashtag I'm here for the challenge for this month of April. Yeah, glad you were able to make it, Leah. Glad you were able to make this one. Awesome. But yeah, how you guys? Let me know how your guys' day's going in the chat too. How did things go? This weekend. A lot of times people during the holidays tend to overeat. A lot of times people tend to, you know, fall off their diet or eat a bunch of random shit that they probably shouldn't. That isn't conducive towards their goals. And a lot of times too, as long as you're being mindful of it, like I talked about last Friday, and you're being mindful of it, and you're taking ownership of what you did, you're probably going to be okay. Like it's going to be fine. You just accept it and then move on. But a lot of times people don't do that. A lot of times we like to beat ourselves up like crazy whenever we screw up or when we screw up or whenever we fall off of our diet or we don't do our workouts or whatever it may be, and that leads to shame and a sense of like feeling like you're a failure and that you've like fucked up really bad and things like that. And so yeah, so today I'm gonna go over four things not to do and then a quick list of things what you should do instead. Because this is what, and let me know if this is something that you've done in the past or that you did this time. And let's learn from it. Let's grow from it. Let's not do it again. I see you. I see you, Chance. How's it going? Said holiday was mellow. No family get-togethers and ended up working. Okay, gotcha. And so yeah. So this is the first thing. Number one, what you should not do after you screwed up on the holiday or you fell off your diet or whatever it may have been, your nutrition plan, blah, 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 blah. Like, don't overly restrict today to make up for it. Don't overly restrict today to make up for what you did this past weekend, right? Don't go freaking ape shit and like do like 4 hours on the treadmill or the stairmaster and like doing everything you can in your power to try and like burn all that shit off that you ate. Like one, it's gonna be really stressful on your body, and you're probably gonna hate your hate life, and it's creating like a really negative relationship with you and food and holidays, and that's where a lot of it stems from is having like a negative relationship with food in the first place, and with your like own body weight and things like that. And so, what you should not do, don't overly restrict the next day. Don't become like don't live on the treadmill for the next like the entire next day. Don't do that. Like don't do that. Just accept what happened and get back on your plan. So this is the do part. What you should do is just accept what happened. Like be like, you know what, that shit happened. I messed up. Whatever it may be. Like maybe you plan for it to happen, but the next day, just get back on your plan. Just get back on your plan the way it was before like it happened. Like just pick back up where you left off. There is no reason why that has to impact the present and future going forward. Just accept it and move on. So don't overly restrict. A lot of people, and I used to do it too. This is coming from personal experience. I see you, John. I am here this time. John, John in the private group we were back and forth a little confused on when the live was today and when it wasn't. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so from personal experience, I used to fucking like when I was in college, like I would shit, I would go out and crush maybe one too many drinks, and then I would make poor eating choices, and I would eat like an entire fucking 10-inch cheesy bread. I would do it. I would eat a whole like I can put down some freaking food. So whenever I would go out and my inhibitions were lowered in terms of what I wanted for myself, like drunk Austin did not give half a shit about sober Austin wanting abs, right? He did not care. And guess what he would do? He would go and he would have too many drinks, and alcohol increases your hunger also, and you make poor decisions when you do stuff like that. And so I would eat a shit ton of food, and the next day I would have my ass would be on the fucking treadmill for like 45 minutes to an hour just trying to make up for what I'd done the night before. And guess what? It just stressed me the hell out. I'd spend a lot of time on the treadmill beating myself up for making a mistake that rather than just being like, all right, let's just move on, and then it creates this vicious cycle and you keep doing it. So like don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. Like don't beat yourself up over something that you did. Just move on. Just like get back to the plan. Like it happens to everybody. Like lots of people do that type of shit, and it's not a healthy relationship with food. I've in the last couple of years learned that I had some disordered eating, not an eating disorder, but just like disordered eating and kind of like a not so healthy relationship with food in the past. Like, and that's okay. Like you learn and you grow from it. I'm not doing that shit anymore. And so yeah, so that's the first thing. Other thing, don't be a freak. And I guess I kind of talked about two things, but like, don't go crazy on the cardio. Like, don't go crazy on the cardio. Don't like stress yourself out like doing a shit ton of cardio trying to make up for and burn all the calories that you ate the day before. Chances are you're not going to be able to do it anyways. If you went real crazy and you ate like thousands of calories over your like whatever your goal was, you're not going to burn all that off doing cardio on the treadmill. Most treadmills, most cardio machines, they're like anywhere from like shit. Like a good rough estimate is like only like whatever it said that you burned, you probably only actually burned about a third of that. That's a pretty good general estimate. Even if your Fitbit says it, even if the treadmill says it, that is probably what it actually is. If it said you burned 300 calories on the treadmill, you probably only burned about 100. If it said you burned 1,000, you probably only burned about 333.33333 calories, right? So if you ate over like, and if you're going at a decent pace, like you can burn, like I don't know, like 300 to 500 calories on a treadmill within, within a period of time, like within an hour. Like you probably hit that amount within an hour. Sorry, Jessica was asking me what I wanted for dinner with. She asked me if I wanted enchiladas, and um, slipping me a secret note. I thought it was a love note. Well, it kind of was. It said enchiladas on it, so that's love. But anyways, um, yeah. So don't lost my freaking train of thought. But yeah, don't do that. Like if you're only losing like 300, like if you're doing cardio for like an hour on the treadmill, like depending on the pace that you're going at, you can maybe burn between like 300 and like 1,000 calories. Like maybe if you're going crazy at a like unsustainable pace, you can maybe burn 1,000 calories, but you're probably not going to be able to do that. Most people probably can't do that unless you're like a sprint, like a long distance runner or something like that. You're probably not going to be able to maintain that pace. So, even if you'd have to spend like 4 or 5 hours on a treadmill to burn off all the extra calories that you ate. And so at the end of the day, just accept it and move on, and don't beat yourself into the ground on the like into a pulp on the treadmill. Just don't do it. So another thing, don't be a jerk to yourself. Don't be a jerk to yourself. Don't look at that number on the scale and be like, well, shit, like my self worth is all of a sudden I'm a terrible person. I suck. I failed. Like that's all that shit. Like I've been there. I've been there. I know like a ton of my clients. Like I worked with a lot of people. That's what That's what you instantly gravitate towards whenever it comes to your line of thinking. When you look at that scale and it says the same thing or worse, it says a couple pounds more. Guess what? You're gonna beat yourself up and you're gonna say these shitty things to yourself where you're like I'm the worst. Like God, I'm such a failure. Like why can't I just like do? Why can't I stick to my shit? Like why can't like you got all these like whys going in your head and you're like beating yourself up like crazy about something that happened that doesn't have to impact that moment anymore. Like accept it. Like look at the scale. Like if you want to and accept it and move on. Like this is the other thing too though, right? The other thing, the scale can be deceiving. You like whatever the scale says, it's not as bad as it seems. You didn't gain like 3 or 4 pounds of fat. You didn't. That fluctuation on the scale is probably like mostly water, excess water because you ate a lot of carbs probably, and and it's also probably you're probably either like you're probably dehydrated potentially, so it could be a large fluctuation of water weight, or you could have a lot of food in your body at that time. Again, that's not fat, it's just food. Your body's going to use a lot of that food to maintain itself. And three, it's probably you probably have a lot of crap in your body from all the extra food that you ate that's probably still in there, right? So you didn't gain 3 or 4 pounds of fat. You didn't. It's water, food, or what used to be food. Okay? So think about it that way too. The scale can be deceiving. The scale is not, it's, you did not gain all that weight. That's not what happened. Like, you have more weight on you, but it's not fat, right? It's not fat. So don't beat yourself up over that. It's not as bad as it actually was, unless you went like completely like off the walls and went to like 4 different buffets and literally had like 8 plates of food at each place. Like, okay, then maybe you gain a couple pounds because you literally ate like a lot of food. But most people didn't do that, right? So don't think about it that way. Don't beat yourself up about that stuff. Don't be a jerk to yourself. What you should do is be fucking nice to yourself. Be like, you know what? I enjoyed myself with my friends and my family. I had a good time. I made some great memories with people that I might not have been able to spend time with in a very long time. I was able to enjoy myself. I was mindful of it and accept it and move on. Like be nice to yourself. Everybody we are our own worst critics. A lot of people are fucking mean as shit to themselves. I used to be mean as shit to myself too. But if you're like if you want to have a sustainable fitness journey and you want to have a sustainable like like have a chance to make this something that's like going to be long term for yourself, you need to learn to be nice to yourself. Because every time you're mean to yourself, you're going to send yourself off into some sort of like negative feedback loop where you're going to kill your momentum that you had going on, and you're just going to like continue to like beat yourself up, feel like a failure, do stuff that's not conducive to your goals, like eating shit that you shouldn't do, or not tracking your food, or like not doing your workouts because you feel bad. And then what are you going to do? Well, you're going to call yourself mean names and talk shit to yourself. And then the cycle continues. And then, like, all of a sudden, a couple of weeks have gone by and you haven't done shit, right? Don't do that. Like, just practice being nice to yourself. Find something nice that you like about yourself and focus on that. And be like, well, you know what? Like, what you should do is be like, you know what? Like, accept it and move on. You know what? I enjoyed my time with my friends and family. Find something good that came of that, and then be like, all right, now time to get back to business. That's what you should do. Um, Another thing, something that you should not do, and I already kind of covered this a little bit. Don't stress out about what the scale says. Don't stress out about what the scale says for the reasons I just listed off. Food, what used to be food, water. Like, these are things that are impacting what the scale says. And at the end of the day, you should not be tying your self-worth to a number on the freaking scale. All right? Focus on non-scale victories. How you look, how you feel. Do you like the way that you look? Are you, feeling more confident? Are you happy? Like, these are all things that, yes, the scale is an important factor and an important thing that you can use to measure progress. Like, I'm not saying it's not like important, but what I am saying is there are things that are way more important, and especially after such a like sensitive time where you like may have messed up during the weekend, where the scale is going to be like fluctuated and off and kind of like an illusion in a sense anyways. Like don't like that's not what you want to focus on anyways because it's not accurate and it's just going to make you feel like shit. So stop, so don't do it. So don't do it. If you do, like fine, but don't focus on that shit and like take it as like the end all be all of who you are as a your worth as a person because that's not what it is. It's not true. It's an illusion in a sense anyways. Like you didn't gain all that fat, so don't act like you did. Yeah. And at the end of the day, what you should do, I already kind of covered some of this. Be fucking nice to yourself. Fuck the past. Focus on the present and moving forward. Move like seriously, like just forget about it. Like it happened. There's no sense in putting weight into things that are outside of your control. Like all you can do, you can't control what happened because it already happened, but you can control how you respond to it and move forward, right? Kick freaking ass and follow and keep following the plan if you have one. Like just get back on the wagon, keep following the plan as if it didn't even happen, and move on and adapt. Whenever the time comes to do like a check-in, if you have a coach, if you're doing some sort of check-in, just get back on the wagon, right? Move forward. Hope you guys got value from this. If you got value from this, if you give this a like, let me know your number one takeaway. If you think somebody might get value from this, tag them in the comments. If you know somebody who's making themselves feel bad, making themselves feel like shit because they enjoyed themselves, or maybe they gained some weight from the weekend, like tag them in this. Let them know. Like have them see this so that way they can stop beating themselves up about something that is okay, right? So hope you guys got value from this. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching this. If you watch this later time, hashtag replay. Let me know that you saw it. Don't forget, clients, if you're watching this, hashtag I am here so I know that you saw this. But other than that, have a beautiful rest of your Monday. I'm going to talk to you guys later.